Very, very cute.
Cute people. We do have a little bit of a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jennifer. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Jennifer. Happy birthday. You're allowed to drink finally.
Oh, finally.
So I guess we're getting a beer later.
Yes, later. Beer, later.
Yeah, with a schnitzel and a pint of beer. That's how we do it in Germany. Well, okay. Minus the schnitzel, it's fine. We rehearsed that. Well done, audience. Really well done. A big round of applause for you guys. Because we have so many questions from the audience, I just wanted to, from my side, thank you for being here. You're a great character in so many cool shows, and you're like guest in our homes, in our hearts all the time.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
It is inspiring because you inspired a lot of young kids and young girls to be a little bit more out there, you know, a little bit more.
I just finished directing an episode of Euphoria, which is a new show for HBO that premieres on June 16th, which is very, very different than my feature, visually different, emotionally different, but amazing. Zendaya stars in it. It's an incredible cast of young people. Sam Levinson created the show, and he's really, really visually stylized, interesting, creative director and writer that I really love working with. So that's coming out and was a huge undertaking that I'm also very proud of. And then there's some other things. There's an independent film that I've been attached to direct, but it's very early days in terms of putting it together. Partially my fault, only because I've been sort of busy doing a lot of different things, and so it's about figuring out when that would fit into my schedule properly. There's a lot that's challenging about directing. I wouldn't even know where to start. I could probably fill an hour just answering that question. But I think the biggest thing that people may not realize about directing is just the sheer number of decisions that you have to make in a day. We're talking about thousands of decisions in a day. Every single thing you see on the screen of any film, television show, anything, the director has had to decide about it. The buttons, the color, the curtains, the carpet, the storytelling, did you cut that line or did you not cut that line? Are we going to look at this person that time? We're going to look at that person at that time. Do you want the coffee mug on the table or not on the table? Do you want the table clear? Do you want the table full? Like, you can't even imagine the amount of questions you get asked in a day. I get to the point where I call it decision fatigue, where I'm totally fine with all the decisions with the directing, but as soon as I get home or I go to a restaurant, I can't even read a menu. Like I open the menu and I'm like,
We know.
and I stay in that position until someone goes, would you maybe like a salad? And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That'd be great. So like I can make 16,000 decisions about the film, but I can't. It's not even that I can't make a decision about food. I can't even read the menu. My brain just shuts off. So it is an interesting skill that you have to acquire to be able to answer thousands of questions in a day or make thousands of decisions in a day.
Thank you.
I mean, ultimately, I guess the reality is, I prepare a character and I make all sorts of choices about who I feel like they are, and I do all sorts of work to be able to be as natural as possible while I'm being this person that's not me. And I think I've been lucky enough that most directors really trust my instincts, and they, they might kind of nudge me one way or another, but they're very supportive of the choices that I make. So in terms of in the moment, you're getting the most sort of authentic emotional expression of what I'm feeling at the time as that character. But then the reality is the director goes and sits in the editing room and they decide who they're going to look at and when they're going to look at them and which bits and pieces of my performance are the bits and pieces that they want to put on the screen. So in the moment it's, what's coming out of me genuinely, but down the road, it's ultimately the director's decision what bits and pieces stay in the movie. Well, I've been acting since I was 5 years old, so I don't really remember 4. It's been incredible to be able to play all these different characters and to be a part of different productions, and you know, I've had amazing opportunities to be able to study these different people and build these different people, and I think that it's been very lucky because I get to have a different perspective and a different empathy for people when you're sort of diving into someone else's skin and trying to understand who they are and why they do the things that they do. And I hope that that has really added to my life in certain ways. And I've also worked all over the world. I've gotten to live in different countries and different cities, and I've gotten to see a lot of beautiful places in the world. I get to be here. I get to see you guys. So it's definitely given me some really beautiful opportunities and experiences that I wouldn't have had if I were doing something else. Oh my goodness, I mean, where do you start? You guys are why I get to do what I love, you know? I mean, that's the most incredible gift you could give anyone. I love acting, I love directing, I love making stuff, you know? And the only reason I get to keep doing that is because you guys show up and enjoy it and support it and are amazing. So you guys are why I get to do what I love every day.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a good question. I definitely remember the very, very last episode of House in the fire. That whole stretch was something that I definitely remember. I definitely remember the whole sequence on Star Trek, just because it was, the sets and the production design were so incredible on that. It was like, usually you're sort of like, kind of half green screen and half practical effects, and you're sort of making it up in your head to try to make it all seem real. And they put my little like pregnant belly on me and my little outfit, and I'm like waddling to my wheelchair, and I'm like, I'm actually on a spaceship. Like, this is crazy. And then things were actually blowing up all around, like without warning. No one said like, by the way, everything's gonna like blow up around you. It was just like, here's your wheelchair rolling, and it was like fire and wind, and I was like, holy cow. It was crazy. So like everything about Star Trek stands out. And also working with J.J. Abrams was just incredible. Like, we did that scene so many times, over and over and over again, from millions of angles, with 6 different babies and a fake baby, and I've been like crying and pretending to give birth all day for like a week. And you think I'm exaggerating, this is just the truth. And then, you know, he would come in on every take and have a new idea that would make it better. And I'd be like, how do you have so many ideas? So I remember all of that very vividly. And I don't know, I'm trying to think on Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time for me, really the musical episode always stands out. That's always an episode that I really remember, and it was a lot of fun. I also go back to the Back to the Future episodes with Hook and Emma kind of going to the Enchanted Forest. Those are episodes that really stood out as well, mostly because Colin and I ate a lot of pizza during that time. Yeah, I would say those are some of the stronger things that stand out.
Thank you so much. That was a great question.
Well, I guess I would say that I wish that in general we had a deeper sense of connectivity and empathy for other people, just as humans. I think we have the capacity for it, but I think that we've sort of been distanced from it for some reason. And I think that change would domino affect other changes, you know, concerns about the environment, concerns about politics, concerns about those things. But if we started from a place of people having a really innate and passionate desire to connect with each other and have empathy for each other, maybe those other things would change too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.